17. Black Celebrities Who Tragically Died in 2025 Part 2. Shocking Losses in 2025. 17 Legends Gone Too Soon. 2025 has been a year of unimaginable tragedy as we've lost 17 iconic black celebrities whose influence shaped music, sports, and politics. From the sudden death of Angie Stone in a car crash to the shocking end of George Foreman at home, these legends have left us far too soon. Their stories, filled with triumphs and struggles, remind us of the fleeting nature of life. Join us as we honor their legacies and reflect on the powerful mark they left on the world. Hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence for more incredible stories. Dwayne Wiggins. Dwayne Wiggins, a renowned figure in R&B music, passed away in 2025 at the age of 64. Born on December 28, 1960 in Oakland, California, Wiggins was a founding member of the legendary group Tony Tone, which was one of the most influential R&B acts of the late 80s and early 90s. Known for their fusion of soul funk and contemporary R&B, the group helped define a sound that transcended generations, blending upbeat grooves with deep emotional lyrics. Wiggins, along with his brother Timothy Riley and Raymond Lawrence, created an unforgettable legacy in the music industry. Their 1993 album Sons of Soul is one of the best examples of their mastery of R&B, delivering hits that have since become classics such as Anniversary, It Never Rains in Southern California, and Feels Good. Sons of Soul achieved significant commercial success, reaching #1 on the Billboard R&B chart and earning a Grammy nomination. Wiggins, as the lead guitarist, co-producer, and co-writer, was integral to shaping the group's unique sound. His signature blend of soulful guitar riffs, smooth vocals, and emotional depth gave their music a distinctive quality that resonated deeply with fans. Although Tony Tone found fame, their success didn't come without challenges. The group faced internal struggles and disputes with record labels, which led to lineup changes over time. Despite these obstacles, Wiggins continued to create music and perform solo, though his career became less publicized in the years leading up to his passing. Financial troubles and personal hardships followed him, making his last years more difficult, though his passion for music never waned. Sadly, Wiggins's death in 2025 marks the loss of a true icon of R&B music. Despite personal struggles, his musical legacy remains strong. His contributions to soul and funk, as well as his role in shaping the sound of Tony Tone, have left an indelible mark on the music industry. Wiggins's influence can still be felt in contemporary R&B, as his timeless tracks continue to inspire new generations of artists. Angie Stone. Angie Stone, born on December 18, 1961 in Columbia, South Carolina, was an influential figure in soul, R&B, and gospel music. Her career began in the 1980s as a member of the group The Sequence, one of the first all-female rap groups to appear on national television. However, it was her solo work in the late 1990s and early 2000s that earned her a Grammy nomination and a loyal following. Angie Stone's deep, sultry voice and impeccable songwriting made her a standout figure in the neo-soul movement, with hits like Wish I Didn't Miss You and Brother, showcasing her ability to blend R&B and soulful melodies with raw, emotional lyrics. Stone's success continued as she released multiple albums throughout the years, gaining recognition for her contributions to both the music and entertainment industries. However, Angie's final years were marked by personal struggles. Financial difficulties, a protracted lawsuit with her former record label, and issues with debt shadowed her once glamorous career. In addition, her personal life, including the foreclosure of her mansion in 2022 and a looming tax debt of $240,000, made it evident that even legends face battles far from the spotlight. Tragically, on March 1, 2025, Stone died in a car crash at the age of 63 following a recording session at a small, rundown studio. She was on her way to perform at a church in Marietta when her car was struck by a truck, ultimately leading to her untimely death. Angie Stone's passing, although silent in the media, left the world of music mourning the loss of one of its most soulful voices. Young Scooter, Kenneth. Edward Bailey, better known by his stage name. Young Scooter was a pioneer in the trap music scene, gaining a significant following with his mixtape Street and collaborations with some of the biggest names in the genre, such as Gucci Mane and Future. Born on March 28, 1990 in Atlanta, Georgia, Young Scooter was integral in the development of the sound that would eventually dominate modern hip-hop. His gritty storytelling, hard-hitting beats, and unapologetic approach to his craft earned him respect in the underground scene and a reputation as one of the most promising artists of his generation. Despite his potential for superstardom, Young Scooter's career was marred by legal issues, violence, and a personal battle with fame. His involvement in the streets, which he openly referenced in his music, eventually caught up with him. On March 28, 2025, at the age of 35, Young Scooter's life came to a tragic end after a high-speed police chase in Atlanta. The chase lasted for over 20 minutes as he fled a suspected drug deal, weaving through traffic at breakneck speeds. The pursuit ended when his car crashed violently, killing him instantly. Though his life ended in tragedy, Young Scooter's contributions to trap music cannot be overstated. He helped lay the foundation for the trap movement that now dominates mainstream hip-hop, and his music continues to influence a new generation of artists. Scooter's death represents not only the loss of a talented artist, but also a stark reminder of the consequences that come with living in the intersection of fame and the streets. Cocoa Tea. Cocoa Tea born Calvin. George Scott, on October 6, 1955, was a beloved figure in reggae music, celebrated for his soulful voice and timeless hits such as Rocking Dolly and I Lost My Sonia. Emerging from Kingston, Jamaica, Cocoa Tea became one of the standout stars of the reggae scene in the 1980s and 1990s, sharing stages with legends like Dennis Brown and Jimmy Cliff. His music was a reflection of the struggles and triumphs of his people, and he became a symbol of Jamaican pride through his music. However, despite his success, Cocoa Tea's later years were marked by hardship and isolation. In 2022, he was diagnosed with stage 3 lymphoma, a cancer that spread rapidly from his neck to his chest. True to his nature, Cocoa Tea fought the disease in silence, choosing not to disclose his condition to his family, friends, or fans. He continued to perform in small venues, but his health deteriorated rapidly, leading to a collapse during a performance in Montego Bay in January 2024. Cocoa Tea's death on March 10, 2025, at the age of 69, came after months of isolation in his modest home where he lived on a meager income. He spent his last days recording short voice diaries, capturing the essence of his struggle and the fading sounds of a man who had been a major force in reggae music. Despite his fame, Cocoa Tea died alone, far removed from the stages that once echoed with his powerful performances. His passing is a reminder of the impermanence of fame, but his legacy in reggae music lives on through his timeless tracks. DJ Funk. DJ Funk. Born Charles Chambers on January 21, 1972, was a pivotal figure in the development of the ghetto house music scene in Chicago, a subgenre that laid the foundation for the modern-day Chicago house and electronic music scenes. Funk wasn't just a DJ. He was a music producer and an innovator whose raw, unapologetic sound captured the essence of the streets. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Funk's beats could be heard reverberating through Chicago's underground clubs, with his work for the Dance Mania label shaping the sound of a generation. His breakout hits like Work That Body and Booty Bounce made him a household name in the underground music scene, earning him the title of the King of Ghetto House. However, despite his success, Funk's life was marked by constant personal and professional struggles. Addiction, particularly to cocaine and methamphetamine, started to take its toll on his health and his career. His work output began to dwindle as he became consumed by his demons. In 2009, Funk was arrested for meth possession, an event that signaled the unraveling of his career. By 2024, Funk's health had deteriorated significantly, with stage 4 cancer taking its toll. Despite his declining health, Funk continued to create music, recording 327 unreleased tracks up until his death. DJ Funk died on March 5, 2025, alone in his Chicago apartment, surrounded by the echoes of his unfinished music. His death marked the end of an era for ghetto house music. Despite his turbulent personal life, Funk's influence on Chicago's music scene cannot be overstated. His beats and his legacy live on, keeping the underground spirit of ghetto house alive. Irving Lorenzo Jr. Irving Lorenzo Jr., better known as Gotti, was once the mastermind behind Murder Inc., the record label that propelled artists like Ja Rule and Ashanti to superstardom in the early 2000s. Born on January 26, 1974 in Queens, New York, Gotti's rise to fame was meteoric. He was a visionary in the world of hip-hop and R&B, and his label's signature blend of street rap and melodic hooks helped define the sound of a generation. Murder Inc.'s success seemed unstoppable, with Ja Rule's chart-topping hits and Ashanti's Grammy-winning singles. However, the fame came with a heavy price. Gotti's personal and professional life began to unravel in the mid-2000s. Accusations of money laundering and connections to notorious drug kingpin Kenneth Supreme McGriff brought the FBI to his doorstep, and despite avoiding criminal charges, his reputation was tarnished. By the late 2000s, Gotti's life became a series of public stumbles. His label's fortunes declined, and his personal issues worsened. In 2022, he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, but he continued his unhealthy lifestyle, refusing to slow down. Gotti's tragic end came on February 5, 2025, when he died from complications related to diabetes and a stroke at the age of 51. Found in his luxurious penthouse in New York, Gotti's final days were spent in isolation, drowning in debt and personal regrets. His passing was the end of an era for Murder Inc., a company that had once ruled the charts but had ultimately crumbled under the weight of Gotti's own personal battles. DJ Unk. DJ Unk. Born Anthony Platt on January 28, 1982 in Atlanta, Georgia, was the driving force behind the Southern dance rap movement of the mid-2000s. Known for his infectious bass-heavy tracks, DJ Unk's biggest hit, Walk It Out, became an anthem for both clubs and street corners across the country. The track, released in 2006, is still regarded as one of the most influential Southern hip-hop songs of all time. Unk's sound, with its catchy hooks and distinctive step-by-step choreography, became synonymous with Atlanta's vibrant club scene, pushing him to the forefront of the genre. But despite his success, Unk's life was not without its struggles. A series of health issues, including a diagnosis of heart failure in 2016, began to take a toll on his body. Even after undergoing surgery in 2021 to implant a defibrillator, Unk refused to slow down. His passion for performing and connecting with fans kept him on the road, playing in small venues for dwindling crowds. The grind wore him down, and by January 24, 2025, after another low-key gig in Atlanta, Unk's heart finally gave out. He was found in his apartment, the same streets where his music once vibrated with life, now quiet and still. DJ Unk passed away at the age of 42, leaving behind a legacy that went beyond the dance floors. His infectious energy and music brought Atlanta's hip-hop culture into the mainstream, and Walk It Out remains a timeless classic. Despite the hardships he faced in his later years, DJ Unk's influence continues to resonate in the Southern hip-hop scene, ensuring his place in history as one of the genre's most influential figures. Jerry Butler. Jerry the Iceman. Butler, born on December 8, 1939 in Sunflower, Mississippi, was a legendary soul singer, a founding member of the famed group The Impressions, and one of Chicago's most influential musical voices. Butler's smooth baritone voice and impeccable delivery made him a beloved figure in R&B, earning him his nickname, The Iceman, for his cool, controlled vocal style. His hits, such as For Your Precious Love and Only the Strong Survive, became staples of soul music and are still cherished by music lovers today. Butler's career spanned several decades, during which he became one of the most respected soul artists of the 1960s and 1970s. His early work with the Impressions, including their iconic track People Get Ready, helped set the stage for his successful solo career. Butler's smooth ballads, combined with his emotional depth and commitment to social issues, earned him a place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1991. In his later years, Butler transitioned into a political career serving as a commissioner for Cook County, Illinois, while continuing to perform for devoted fans. His contributions to both music and his community marked him as a true icon. However, the final chapter of Butler's life was marked by physical decline. On February 20th, 2025, at the age of 85, Butler passed away quietly in a nursing home in Chicago, a city that had shaped much of his career. His final years were spent in relative obscurity, with his health deteriorating due to age and a heart condition. Despite this, his musical legacy will live on forever, intertwined with the soul and spirit of Chicago. Gwen McCrae. Gwen McCrae, born on December 21, 1943, in Pensacola, Florida, was one of the most influential figures in disco and soul music. Known for her dynamic voice and hit songs like Rocking Chair and 90% of Me Is You McCrae, became a major figure in the 1970s disco scene, capturing the hearts of fans worldwide with her infectious energy and powerful vocals. Her music, which spanned multiple genres including disco, soul, and R&B, made her a dance floor favorite. McCrae's biggest hit, Rocking Chair, was an instant classic, and it went on to become a defining song of the era. It solidified her place as one of the leading voices of the disco movement and earned her significant chart success. In addition to her musical talents, McCrae was also a style icon known for her bold fashion choices and her role as a trailblazer for women in the music industry. Despite her widespread success, McCrae faced significant personal and financial challenges in the years that followed. By the 1980s, McCrae's career began to fade as the disco era waned, and she faced economic struggles, including the loss of her record deal. McCrae was also plagued by health problems, which contributed to her eventual retreat from the public eye. In the final years of her life, McCrae battled a variety of ailments, but she continued to maintain a quiet yet dignified presence. On February 21, 2025, McCrae passed away peacefully in her home in Pensacola, Florida, at the age of 81. Her death was a poignant end to a legendary career, one that had been marked by both great triumph and personal struggles. While her passing may have been quiet, her legacy as the Queen of Disco and a pioneer for women in music will continue to inspire generations of artists and fans alike. Roy Ayers. Roy Ayers, also known as Roy Ayers, was born on April 17, 1946, in New York City. Ayers was an influential figure in jazz-funk music, renowned for his masterful vibraphone playing and his ability to blend jazz, soul, and funk into a genre-defining sound. His most famous track, Everybody Loves the Sunshine, became an anthem not just for the jazz-funk movement, but for soul music as a whole. The track has been sampled by countless hip-hop artists, cementing Ayers' status as a key figure in both jazz and modern urban music. Throughout his career, Ayers collaborated with many of the biggest names in jazz and funk, contributing to albums and live performances that showcased his exceptional skill and deep understanding of music. His ability to craft soothing, soulful rhythms combined with jazz improvisation set him apart in the world of instrumental music. Despite his success, Ayers lived a relatively quiet life, often withdrawing from the spotlight and focusing on creating music that resonated deeply with his core audience. In his later years, Ayers struggled with health issues, particularly a long-standing battle with heart disease, which ultimately led to his decline. Despite his failing health, he continued to compose and record music, capturing the sounds of a life lived in dedication to his craft. On March 4, 2025, Roy Ayers passed away at the age of 78 in his New York City apartment. His death came after a long struggle with his health, and though he had made peace with the end of his journey, the music world mourned the loss of one of its quiet geniuses. Roy Ayers' influence lives on in the music he created. His ability to blend jazz with funk and his mastery of the vibraphone will continue to inspire generations of musicians and music lovers alike, ensuring his place in the pantheon of jazz-funk legends. Even in silence, his music will never be forgotten. Mia Love. Mia Love born. Mia Anstein on December 6, 1975 in Brooklyn, New York made history as the first black woman to be elected to Congress as a Republican representing Utah's 4th Congressional District. Raised by Haitian immigrant parents, Love's rise to prominence was a testament to her resilience, hard work, and unwavering belief in the American dream. After earning a degree in political science from the University of Hartford, she began her career in public service and politics, eventually becoming the mayor of Saratoga Springs, Utah, before running for Congress. Her 2014 election to the House of Representatives marked a significant achievement for both her career and for diversity in politics. She became an outspoken advocate for limited government fiscal responsibility and economic opportunity, gaining both admiration and criticism for her staunch conservative views. Throughout her tenure, Love maintained a focus on bringing diverse perspectives to the political table, especially as one of the few black Republicans in Congress. In 2024, Love was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer, but she continued to work tirelessly despite the immense toll on her health. She showed incredible courage in the face of adversity, participating in community events and continuing to advocate for policies she believed in. Tragically, Mia Love passed away on March 12, 2025, at the age of 49, leaving behind a legacy of breaking barriers and fighting for her community. Her passing left a void in the political landscape, but her determination, courage, and contributions will inspire future generations of political leaders. Roberta Flack. Roberta Flack, born February 10, 1937 in Black Mountain, North Carolina, was one of the most celebrated voices in music history. With a career spanning over 6 decades, Flack became an icon in jazz, soul, and pop music, known for her deeply emotional, smooth voice that captivated audiences around the world. Her 1973 hit, "Killing Me Softly with His Song," became a timeless classic, earning her a Grammy Award for Record of the Year. Alongside this, Flack also scored massive successes with The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, which earned her another Grammy and was later inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Flack's influence extended beyond her music. She was a trailblazer for black women in the music industry and was known for using her platform to advocate for social justice. Her blend of classical training and soulful artistry made her unique in her field, and her impact stretched across several generations of listeners. In her later years, Flack faced severe health issues, including a battle with ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which gradually took away her ability to sing. Despite her declining health, she remained active in mentoring young artists and contributing to charitable causes. Roberta Flack passed away on February 24, 2025, at the age of 88. Her passing marked the end of an era in music, but her influence and her unforgettable voice continue to resonate. She will always be remembered as a pioneer who shaped the course of modern music with grace, power, and profound emotional depth. Chris Jasper. Chris Jasper, born December 30, 1951 in Cincinnati, Ohio, was an integral member of the legendary Isley Brothers, one of the most influential R&B groups in American history. Jasper's contribution to the band extended far beyond being a keyboardist. He was the creative force behind many of the group's biggest hits, shaping their sound with his distinct musical style. Jasper, along with brothers Ernie and Ronald Isley, was part of the group's creative core that helped transition the Isley Brothers from a 1960s doo-wop group into a powerhouse of funk and soul in the 1970s and 1980s. After the Isley Brothers' peak years, Jasper ventured into a successful solo career, releasing several albums that showcased his skills as both a producer and musician. He crafted a signature sound that melded soulful melodies with electronic elements, further cementing his place in the R&B pantheon. Songs like Between the Sheets, Footsteps in the Dark and That Lady remain staples of soul and R&B, with Jasper's contributions being key to their success. Unfortunately, by the 2020s, Jasper's life was overshadowed by health issues, including a battle with stage 4 lung cancer. Despite the diagnosis, Jasper continued to work on his music, determined to leave behind a body of work that would outlive him. On February 23, 2025, at the age of 73, Chris Jasper passed away quietly in his Manhattan apartment. His death marked the loss of a musical genius, whose keyboard lines and production touched countless lives. His legacy as a member of the Isley Brothers and a solo artist remains indelible in the world of R&B and soul music. George Foreman. George Foreman, born on January 10, 1949 in Marshall, Texas, is a name synonymous with boxing greatness. Known for his formidable strength and intimidating presence in the ring, Foreman became a two-time world heavyweight champion and an Olympic gold medalist in 1968. However, his career was defined by two distinct eras. The first was during the 1970s, when he dominated the boxing world, knocking out opponents with ease, including Joe Frazier in their legendary 1973 match to win the heavyweight title. Foreman's aggressive style earned him the nickname Big George and solidified his place as one of the sport's fiercest competitors. After an unexpected loss to Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle in 1974, Foreman walked away from boxing for over a decade, finding solace in religion and becoming a preacher. In the late 1980s, against all odds, he made an unprecedented comeback to reclaim the heavyweight title at the age of 45, defeating Michael Moorer in 1994 to become the oldest heavyweight champion in history, a feat that remains one of boxing's most remarkable comebacks. Beyond boxing, Foreman became a successful businessman, notably creating the iconic George Foreman grill, which revolutionized the home cooking industry. The grill became one of the best-selling appliances in history, earning Foreman hundreds of millions of dollars. Unfortunately, on March 21, 2025, at the age of 76, Foreman passed away after suffering a stroke at his home in Houston, Texas. Despite his final battle with time, George Foreman's impact on the world both inside and outside the ring is undeniable. He will forever be remembered as a champion, an entrepreneur, and an inspiration to all. Junior Bridgman. Junior Bridgman, born September 17, 1953 in East Chicago, Indiana, was not just a standout NBA player, but also a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist. Bridgman played 12 seasons in the NBA, primarily with the Milwaukee Bucks, where he was known for his reliable scoring versatility and leadership. He was an essential part of the Bucks roster in the 1970s and 1980s, playing alongside stars like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson. After retiring from professional basketball in 1987, Bridgman's story took a remarkable turn. Instead of following the typical post-basketball path of coaching or broadcasting, Bridgman focused on life after sports by diving into the world of business. He became a highly successful franchise owner, purchasing more than 400 Chili's and Wendy's locations, ultimately turning these investments into a $1.4 billion fortune. Bridgman's business acumen earned him widespread respect in the corporate world, and he became a symbol of how athletes can leverage their wealth and influence for long-term success. However, despite his financial success, Bridgman's life ended abruptly on March 11, 2025, at the age of 71. Found lifeless in his office chair at his Bridgman Foods headquarters in Milwaukee, the cause of death was later determined to be a heart attack. Bridgman's sudden passing sent shockwaves through both the basketball and business communities. His death served as a reminder that no matter how much one achieves, life remains fragile. His legacy as both a top-tier basketball player and a shrewd businessman continues to inspire athletes and entrepreneurs alike. Valletta Wallace. Valletta Wallace, born in Jamaica, was a woman whose life was defined by her fierce love and dedication to her son, the notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace. A mother, a protector, and a resilient woman. Valletta's journey was shaped by the tragic loss of her son in 1997. As a single mother raising Biggie in Brooklyn, New York, Valletta faced countless challenges. Yet she instilled in him the strength to rise above adversity and become one of the greatest figures in hip-hop history. After Biggie's untimely death, Valletta dedicated herself to preserving her son's legacy. She founded the Christopher Wallace Memorial Foundation, which supports inner-city youth, helping them achieve their dreams despite the odds stacked against them. She also produced the documentary Biggie, I Got a Story to Tell, ensuring that her son's story would be told authentically despite the controversies that surrounded his life and death. However, the weight of her grief was a heavy burden. Valletta's health slowly deteriorated as she carried the pain of losing her son. Her life marked by years of mourning and an unbreakable commitment to keeping Biggie's name alive. On February 21, 2025, at the age of 74, Valletta Wallace passed away from heart failure, quietly slipping away in her sleep in her home in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Her passing marked the end of an era, and her death left the hip-hop world mourning the loss of a woman who fought tirelessly to preserve the legacy of one of the genre's most iconic figures. Valletta Wallace's devotion to her son and her efforts to honor his memory will continue to inspire mothers and fans across the world. 2025 has been an unforgettable year as we tragically lost 17 legendary black figures who left an indelible mark on music, sports, and politics. From Angie Stone's untimely passing to George Foreman's final fight against time, these stars lived lives of immense influence and impact. But what does their loss teach us about the fleeting nature of fame, fortune, and life itself? How should we remember these icons? Share your thoughts in the comments below and let us know which legacy impacted you the most. Don't forget to subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence for more powerful stories.